Good evening, excited friends. It's Midiman coming at you again from Walker's Music and get another word for the day. Uh, be honest with you, I'm giving God all the glory as usual. I give Him all the praise for life, health, and strength. For as well as we give Him honor. We thank God for each and every one of you. Um, I've been trying to do this video for I know 2 or 3 days, and I've been having some issues. I don't with compatibility with the program I'm trying to use, but nevertheless, we're gonna try it this time and see what happens. In other words, we just want to say that I was thinking about when I was waiting on rehearsal for this evening and everything, and we had a chance. We was our brother Fady had to go to had to journey to Atlanta to a graduation with his granddaughter, so we didn't have a practice day, so they gave me a chance, an opportunity to set up some stuff back up in the studio while I was out there. And I got in my mind traveled back to the future, I would call it. And in other words, I remember when I was taking music composition with my one of my former professors, Dr. Stan Pepper. In other words, I don't know, some of you may know or may have heard of Dr. Pepper. He's written hundreds of songs, plays, and musical dramas and whatnot. And he's the matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, he is the head of the music department now at the area. When I was going, he was one of the professors, and I took, matter of fact, I took conducting 1 and 2 up on there. Dr. Pepper. I took composition. I took, let me see, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think I took also choral arrangement on Dr. Pepper. And numerous things that I did take up on Dr. Pepper. And he was one of my favorite instructors as well. I had a lot of favorites, but he was just one of them. My piano instructor, which was at Berry, which was Mrs. Faye Rowell, she remarried again, and now before I think the last time I remember speaking with Miss Rowell, she was Miss Kessler, and she had remarried, but I haven't had contact with her now in many years. In other words, but Dr. Pepper and Miss Kessler, they were two of my favorites. Whereas Dr. Clark, he was the head of the music department when I was when I was attending there. But nevertheless, Dr. Pepper now is the head of the music department, and he was one of my favorite instructors. He was really a student guy. In other words, he was a friend to the student. And like I said, I took conducting, arranging up under him, and as well as composition seminar. I used to meet with him every Friday afternoon for a compositional seminar. We used to sit and we would do different. He was teaching me different aspects of musical composition. This is where I would give all my credit to, other than giving all glory to God, but I give all the credit to Dr. Stan Pepper for me knowing what I know now in music composition. And the only thing about it now that I am ashamed to a degree to say it sometimes, that I do not use it half as much as I should. I don't write as much as I should, as much as I used to. When I was attending Beard, I wrote all the time, but life changed and things change and everything. But I really take the most responsibility for that. But at any rate, that was just a side note of everything. But I remember one of the first songs that I ever tried to write, and it was really a arrangement that I did of a famous old hymn from Will L. Thompson called "Jesus Is All the World to Me," and I did a complete arrangement of it. I did a whole rearrangement of it, and matter of fact, it got recognition. My first composition ever done got recognition. And I remember Dr. Pepper telling me, he said that was very rare, but nevertheless, that showed that I had a special gift. And he recognized it from the get-go, and I'll never will forget what my piano instructor, and she told me as well. Now, when I first started playing piano was back in 1981. I started at my first college, my junior college at Andrew College, which my first piano teacher was Constance Rose. That was her married name. But when I started taking piano lessons up under her name was she had not married. It was Constance Hunt, and she was she was short, just like Miss Ryle. They both were short in stature, but they was like a giant when it came to that piano. And she was my first piano instructor. I took my first piano lesson, believe it or not, was on Halloween, October 31st, 1981. I never will forget it. And I started learning out the older beginner piano library method. That was my first book, and I never will forget that. And I excelled very rapidly because I really practiced. I used to practice 4 hours a day or more. I was very, very into it and everything, and I excelled more rapidly than I should have because of the time that I was putting into it, giving God the glory, of course. And I never will forget, after I graduated, in other words, I took a piano lesson for 1 year, from 81 until that very next year in 82, I entered college at Andrew. And I never will forget, when I graduated from Andrew in 84 and went to Berry, that's when I got connected to Mrs. Faye Rowell. And we used to have something that we used to meet called piano pedagogy. And all the piano majors, we had to meet with her on a Friday as well. And I believe it was like, yeah, it was on a Friday. I think it was on a Friday we would meet. And it was like once a week, all the piano majors, we had to meet with her in her office. And we would sit there, and each week it would be a different one in the hot seat. And so every time I would I have to get in the hot seat, I was always reluctant. I never wanted to be in the hot seat because I was surrounded by all of these here good musicians. They had been playing piano just about ever since they were 4 and 5 years old. They had been playing, and they had a whole lot of years on me. And matter of fact, I had two of the young ladies. They were very good friends of mine, Renee Harbor, and one with Renee. And I forget, Lord, her name, it misses me right now, but it'll probably come to me before this video ends. But one of them, Renee Harbor, and she could sight read, I mean, flawless, which is another gift entirely. I mean, I can read music, no doubt about it. I can read whatever you put in front of me. Now, you give me a little time with it, I can guarantee I play it, but I'm not one of what you say blessed with the sight reading, where you can just put a piece of music in front of me. I just play it flawlessly like Renee did, and Renee was awesome. She was awesome at it, and I like to call the other young lady name too. Like I said, we was all so very close to them during school, but it's been a lot of years. But at any rate, I think it was Lindsay something. I think that was her last name, Lindsay. And I can't think of her first name, but I know her last name was Lindsay. But at any rate, they could sight read outstanding. And one of the guys, one of the particular Fridays, I'm going to cut this short and go and get through. One of the particular Fridays, matter of fact, this is what I'm going to be teaching. I'm going to make certain that I teach the student to read and not to cheat like I did. That's what hurt me a lot because I looked at my hands a lot when I was learning. But at any rate, on those Friday when we had piano pedagogy, I didn't never want to be in the hot seat. But Miss Rowell, she always would put me in the hot seat. And I didn't understand why she did it. In the beginning, I didn't understand. But then, by lo and behold, I remember. And I understand now. As time went on, I knew why she did it. But I never will forget on one of my private lessons. And we was in their office, and she told me, she said, Ernest, you want to know why I put you in the hot seat? She said, because you is just as good as any of the rest of them on your level. She said, on your level, you is just as good or more. You probably more so than any of them. They've been playing all their life just about it. You just started 2 or 3 years ago. And you can play things that a person that just been playing that short a while shouldn't even be able to play, but you can play it. So don't ever feel inferior to them and nobody else because you are just as good as any of them on your level. And I never forgot that, people. I never forgot that. And this is what I'm going to pass on as I teach. Don't try to be what somebody else is. You're never going to be as great as a person that's been playing years ahead of you. But you can be just as great as you can be on your level. Don't worry about what somebody else doing. Forget about the other fellow. Don't worry about what they or how great they might be. You just do the best that you can do, and make sure you are playing at your level, and you doing the best on your level, and you cut the deck from there. That's the thing that that's one of the things that I would never forget about Miss Rowell, as well as Dr. Pepper. And matter of fact, they never would let me look down or belittle myself. They never would let me do it. And so instead of getting a big head, I became humble. And I thank God for what level I was at. And I just excelled at where I was. I didn't try to play the big sonatas. I played the smaller types of sonatas until I could get to the big sonatas or whatnot. There are some things even now that I'm yet trying to master in music. See, one thing Miss Rowell always said this elephant is bigger than both of us. And I mean, she was a giant of a piano player. Oh, Lord. She was a concert pianist. And I mean, she was amazing. But she always said we will always be learning. We'll always be learning. Always. We're never going to arrive. Never. So, with that was said, I'm hoping I hope that this is what I'm trying to instill in all the students that may perhaps join in on the online instruction coming up in June 1st, starting June 1st. Registration and the classes will be open. We will be open for business at that particular time. We're going to get everything started. One way or the other, we're going to start putting up, we're going to be putting up demonstration videos and whatnot of different songs and how to incorporate and go about doing certain, tackling certain songs in the event of trying to play them. We're going to be mostly focusing on the church musicians. But we're not going to limit ourselves to that, but that's just going to be our main focus because I am a minister of music. So therefore, I will be focusing more on that particular area. So that being said, man, just going to say we're going to always give praise to God, and give the glory to God. I don't care what you get and what you get into. If God is not in it, you need to get out of it anyway. But remember, no matter how great you get, or how much people might brag on you and might try to give you some praise and honor, don't let it go to your head. Stay humble, give God the glory, and you will go higher and higher. This is Midiman saying peace. Goodbye.